France is in the grip of a prolonged heat wave, with temperatures crossing 40 degrees Celsius. A red weather alert has now been extended across 72 of France's 96 mainland departments. Major tourist sites like the Eiffel Tower and Louvre are closing early due to the heat wave impact. On Wednesday, France experienced its hottest day since records began in 1947. Paris hit a June record of 40.9 degrees Celsius, while Bordeaux reached 42.1. The national temperature indicator averaged 30 degrees across 30 stations, breaking the record set just a day earlier. France's nuclear power plants cut output by about 7% as high temperatures limited cooling water. Around 44 million people, nearly two-thirds of the population, are now under the highest red alert for heat.
Heatwave conditions will persist over much of the country this weekend, with highs of around 40 to 42 degrees. On Sunday, the intense heat will continue over much of the eastern part of the country. Heatwave conditions will persist over much of the country this weekend, with highs of around 40 to 42 degrees. On Sunday, the intense heat will continue over much of the eastern part of the country.
Et sur l'ensemble du pays.
In a bid to escape the scorching heat, swimmers have been flocking to Paris Canal Saint-Martin, which is officially opened for bathing last week. However, despite official bathing zones being marked, crowds have been seen diving into restricted and unsupervised areas, including from bridges that authorities have tried to block. But authorities caution that cooling off in unsupervised waters can be extremely dangerous. They say at least 48 people have died from drowning while trying to beat the heat, with most victims being young people.
It's clear. It's climate change. So it poses a lot of questions about the future. It's clear that we don't know how future generations will be able to cope with more heat. If this is going to be the coolest summer for the next 10 years, it's worrying.
The scorching weather is also disrupting daily life, with tourist sites and public services forced to adjust operations. The Eiffel Tower and Louvre have been closing earlier than usual as visitors struggle to cope with the extreme temperatures. Authorities have shortened museum hours until 27th of June, with doors shutting at 4 p.m. A notice was posted at the museum's entrance to inform the public of the schedule change. However, even after closing, crowds of tourists continue to arrive seeking clarification. Staff remained on hand to answer questions and advised visitors to plan their entry no later than 2 p.m. during this period.
Yes, I've never experienced heat like this. I lived in Paris for a year and I never saw heat like this. It's really incredible. It's very hard for a tourist. You need an umbrella. That would be better.
Meanwhile, extreme heat is devastating poultry farms in western France. Farmers reported unusually high mortality rates, with chickens suffocating in barns as temperatures soared past 40 degrees Celsius.
Well, right now we're facing extreme heat. Naturally, our animals are dealing with the same thing we are. They suffer immensely from the heat, so we're seeing abnormally high mortality rates due to heat-related suffocation.